But why doesn't Shane want to get his own place?
He did have his own place a while ago. He's, you know those bank loaning apps, Money Wizard and all that.
Bank loan.
Yeah, they're kind of like banks, but they're not really. They're just for loans instead of being an actual bank.
So what happened?
He got roped into all of those, and he was like taking out loans to pay off loans, and it just built up on him.
What? That is so dumb. Why would you take out a loan to pay another loan?
He said it was because, this is his argument, he said it was because it extended the amount of time that he had to make more money, but at the same time, he's just paying off even more because
You're spending more money.
he's taking off another loan.
That's so dumb.
He said, well, I was talking to him about it, and he's like, well, if I pay off...
He's doing an infinite money glitch.
If I have this loan, yeah, except it's like an infinite losing money glitch, because every time he takes out a loan to pay off a loan, he's just making a bigger loan.
Well, that's not necessarily true unless if he keeps doing it with different people, because then it's new. Yeah, but that's dumb, bro. Getting into debt, paying, like, if you're gonna take out a loan, make sure you're able to pay it.
Yeah. I'm only ever going to take out loans for like really important things, like maybe a house if I'm ever going to buy one. But not for like things that I want, you know what I mean?
But you're not so bad, like, getting a house, you don't even own it, really, to be honest. Because the government will just take it from you. Because this is what Andy Tate said. He was like, you don't even, if you own a house, you don't even really own it, because say you don't pay a fine or whatever. You know how like the government like starts getting your stuff. Like they could take, maybe if you don't pay a fine, blah blah blah, and then it keeps going so high. Maybe they might take your car, and then they end up taking your whole house because you didn't pay something. So really, they can just take it, like. But like the more money you do have, the more like freedom you have, you know? Because lots of people be like, oh, I don't need money to be happy, you know? But really, it's not really about being, like, it's not saying just because you don't have money you're not happy, but like, if you have money, you can do whatever you want, and you can just live a better life because... Okay. And you can just live a better life because your health, bro. Your health is number one. Because if you don't have health, you're not alive because you're just finna die. And like with money, you can get the best healthcare so you can stay healthy and live longer. I'm like, just if you don't and you're just like most people, which is depending on your healthcare system where you are, but you could just be waiting a long time, like ages, to get something treated, when if you had money you could just do it like a snap of a finger, just like that, because you can just pay the extra stuff to get what you got to get. And lots of people say money changes you, but it like I don't think it does. It just, what's it called? Money just, bro, I'm just forgetting words now. It just, what's it called when it gets bigger? Like, it doesn't change you. It just, what's the word? It's not getting bigger. It, what is the word? It doesn't make you bigger. It makes, like, it just shows who you really are. Like it amplifies. It just amplifies the person you really are. Because like, you might be a punk. Like, say you're a punk, bro, and then you get money. It doesn't really. It didn't make the money didn't make you a punk. It just helps show how much more of a punk you are, you know. Or maybe if you're a good dude, it might. What's it called? You might show that how much of a good dude you are. Maybe you're helping people out, stuff like that, or spending your money to like spending your money towards something like good. Maybe it could be like, say you yourself like does good stuff, and you put money into yourself to spread a message or something, you know? Yeah. Like, hold on, I don't even know how I got into talking about this. I do not know. Okay, can I? W's in chat, can I? Yes, sir, yes, sir. But yeah. Like, obviously money isn't the number one thing in life, because there's your health, family, your beliefs, your morals, your religion, stuff like that. That stuff is more important than money. But then money is there because, and it's mixed in as well, because money has to do with, like, it doesn't have to, but it helps with the other stuff as well, with family, health. The only thing it doesn't really help with is, like, your beliefs. Well, it can change your beliefs, but not really with religion, because this is a problem, bro. Especially with religion, because if you believe that stuff, what religion, like, if you actually believe it, and if you're true, money won't change you. But if it does, that means you're not really about that life, about that stuff. And yeah, and like, speaking of religion, this is a problem, like, especially with what's it called, Christianity. I get so triggered, bro, because personally, like, I believe in God, you know, I believe in God, but obviously I'm not gonna call myself, like, I can't call myself a Christian because I haven't been doing the right things. Like, I'm just keeping it on 100. I'm not doing all the right things, you know, bro. Like, I gotta get better. But like, I don't be saying, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, I do this, that, because it's not true. I can't, like, I believe in God, but I can't call myself a Christian yet, because I'm not doing the right things. But if I did call myself that, and other people see what I'm doing, and then be like, oh, you're a Christian, but you can do that? Okay, I want to do that. And that's not good. And that's one thing that is so bad about Christianity these days. And I don't see it as, and of course it happens with other religions, but I think this is happening worse with Christianity because it's one of the biggest religions around, obvious, yeah. But like, lots of people be saying, oh yeah, I'm Christian, mate, like, sometimes as social status, like, you are weird if you do that. Like, you used to say, oh yeah, I'm Christian. Or like, some people think they're Christian just because they go to church once a week. That doesn't make you Christian. Or if they, like, you see, and like, I see people like wearing like a cross necklace. Like, why are you wearing that, bro? You don't even believe in God. That is, like, I think that is disrespectful. I think that's disrespectful. Because the cross represents, you know, Jesus dying on the cross and that. And like, I'm not trying to go on a religious rant right now, but like, I'm just talking about how people just be doing stuff. Like, you don't even believe in that stuff. And this goes for other religions as well. You might say some stuff, maybe say some stuff like that Muslim people say, just for social status. Maybe just to try to, like, fit in with other people, your friends or whatever. And that is weird, bro. That is so weird. Like, don't do that. And one thing, I'm gonna be honest, this triggers me. Like, people be saying, oh yeah, they say on God. They say on God. Like, they be like, oh yeah, I did that on God. Like, bro, that is so disrespectful. That is mocking. That is mocking God right there, because you're saying on God, but you don't even believe in God. You don't follow any of the things in the Bible. You don't follow any of the Ten Commandments. Like, you don't even care about it really, and then you say on God. Like, I think that is, well, it's not. I think that is really disrespectful. I'm gonna just, yeah, but that's what I gotta say about money and your beliefs. And yeah, I don't think money should change your beliefs, especially religion, because yeah, because if that changes you, you don't really believe in that, do you? But yeah, money is essential. It isn't essential, but it helps a lot, bro. It helps a lot. And yeah, it amplifies who you really are once you get it. And yeah. Also, another thing, I think being born into a rich family could be, like, lots of people be saying, like, obviously this is people that aren't born into a rich family, or they're not rich. They go like, bro, the kid in that rich family, oh my goodness. Like, say, I don't know, who's a really rich person? Elon Musk sticks. He's like, bro, oh, his son, bro, like, I wish I was his son. He's so rich. But like, obviously this depends on how you are raised by your parent. But like, lots of the times, I'm gonna say in most cases, the parents just give the kid whatever they want. And I get it, because like, lots of them, unless the family hasn't been, like, the money hasn't been going from generation to generation, but like, say the parent didn't grow up in a rich family and they built that stuff with the help of others along the way, and they're like, oh yeah, I don't want my child to go through this stuff that I went through, and I want to give them everything that I didn't have. And that's what most parents think. But like, you going through all that stuff made you the person who you are today, and made you have the worth ethic and appreciation for everything you've earned. But if you just treat your kid like, you can, oh yeah, you want that toy car? Have it. You want that? Have it. Then they don't really understand, like, the stuff that you go through, that you went through, and that then give you that work ethic, because they've got everything given to them. And also for them, they might, lots of them think like I'd be hearing about like how lots of millionaires' children get depressed because they're like, oh, that they just think, how am I going to accomplish, like, I'm always going to be my parents' shadow, because how am I going to accomplish all that stuff, all the things that they done? And it's just hard, you know? But like, I see some videos of Shaquille O'Neal, the basketball player. I think that's good what he's doing, you know? Making his kids work for it. And I like how he says, because lots of kids go like, oh yeah, like, say rich kids, I'm just being stereotypical, but like, stereotypes do come from some truth. Obviously not everyone's like that, but like, stereotypes do come from some sort of truth. But like, I like how Shaq says to his kid, well, okay, lots of kids would be like, oh yeah, like, say he's a rich kid, oh yeah, I live in a giant house, I have lots of this, I have a giant backyard. But Shaq is like, no, you don't have anything. This house is mine, this car is mine, all this money is mine, you don't have anything. And I think that's good, to let your kids know that this ain't your crap, this is my stuff. Okay, this is mine, I worked for it, this isn't yours. You're just my child. But that doesn't mean you own any of this stuff, it's mine. And that like makes them think, like, I don't own any of this, I gotta work for myself. And I think, and that helps like rich kids appreciate things more, because they're like, because Shaq is like, this ain't your crap, bro, this is my stuff, not yours, mine. I think that is W parenting right there. And obviously I'm not a parent, I'm only 17, but hey, that's what I reckon. Hello, Dino, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just
back.
I was just ranting about some stuff.
I reckon when it comes to like being rich and having kids, I feel like it has to be like a choice, you know what I mean? Because if you're gonna be super rich, right, You have to be confident in your ability to be able to teach, not you to be able to teach other people to be humble, right? Like it's hard to explain. You can't just have kids rich at the same time because those kids are going to be rich, but they're not going to know what to do with that money if you give them that. But if you don't give them any money, right? If you just bring them up to be like 18 or and they've lived in this really nice house and they're going to go into like the real world, then they're going to end up being super depressed because they're going to be living normally, right? And for a kid that's grown up to be like a billionaire, like grown up a millionaire and then just lost everything, if you do that to an adult, then they're going to crumble. And if you do that, so if you do that to a kid when that's all that they've ever known, right? It's just not going to work.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying, bro. Like all these, like that's why rich kids born rich are some of the most saddest people. Even though they could have everything in the world, they never feel fulfilled because everything was given to them by their parents, who probably worked really hard. But the parents just think like, I'm gonna give my kids everything that I didn't get. But the parent not getting that stuff is the reason they became the way they did, and got the work ethic and the appreciation to do the things that they do. But obviously, if you're a rich kid, that doesn't mean you're gonna turn out like that. But it really depends. A big determining factor on that depends on how you were raised by your parent, and that's what I was saying. How Shaq raises his kids, I think it's very good because like obviously Shaq's a millionaire,
Yeah.
and he just reminds his kids, you are not rich. You're not rich. I'm rich. You are not rich. None of these things. This house is not yours. This car is not yours. This is all mine. You have nothing. I have everything because I'm the one who done it. And I think that's good because then the kid's like, oh yeah, I don't have my dad is rich, my mom is rich, I'm not rich. And he tries to instill discipline and teach them stuff instead of making a kid that's a stereotypical rich brat that gets what he wants. And yeah, you know.
Yeah. Like when you're super rich, right? All money really does is it gives you more opportunity to be able to, and that can be either for better or for worse. So if you always wanted to help people, right, but you don't have any money, then you're probably going to go out, maybe tip heavily if you're in the US, maybe help out like a homeless person every couple of weeks. But if you're like super rich, right, it would take forever to just like do that kind of stuff. So you got to make like a company that helps people. What am I saying? Hold up, I forgot what I was talking about. That's right. If you're like super rich, right, and you just want to help people, then it doesn't really become about the money anymore. It becomes about helping people, right? So a lot of these rich people will go out and help people, but then there's rich people who got rich, but their intentions aren't good. Like they might just be somebody who sits at home playing video games all day, and then they get rich somehow, and then they make like a company that benefits them. They put all of this money into researching so that they can have really good. And to get money, they got to. It's hard to explain. I can't. I'm just rambling.
Okay. Speaking of starting companies, prime example of a rich person doing some cool stuff, Mr. Beast. Doing his philanthropy, helping feed people, you know, I think that's pretty cool. And he's using his platform to help the less fortunate. But another thing is, I do not like at all when people use the less fortunate for monetary gain. I don't like these videos where they go up to someone, ask a homeless person for stuff, and then give them a prize and give them a cash reward. I get it, it's pretty cool, but like, I think it's pretty cringe. But if they do use that money to help others, I think like that works because you're using that stuff helping others to help even more people. But I don't like it when people do try to do good to make themselves look better. just like fake stuff. Like when like I don't like it when someone's not being genuine, and I think I'm pretty good at telling, being able to read if someone's not being genuine or not. And yeah, just when people try to do things to make themselves look better, especially when they use the less fortunate, homeless people, people going through hard times, to make themselves look better, they use other people. Like, oh, here you go, and then they're completely different off camera, and obviously lots of people do that.
Yeah.
The stream just turned into a podcast.
Literally.
But I think these are very good conversations, very real conversations, and hopefully everyone viewing this, it gives you some food for thought, stuff that you can actually think about, instead of most things on that people are making on YouTube just to get the next dopamine boost to cure your boredom. And the only reason you really are bored is because you're not doing anything, really. And yeah. Cannon #1 in chat, thank you for the support, bro. Hopefully the stuff that me and Dnail are talking about right now gets you thinking about stuff that you could do better, stuff that you are not doing, you know? And yeah. And what's it called?
Is red matched?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and another thing, because in my household we were talking about like interviews and that, because my sister had to do an interview for like a project, and she interviewed someone in my household, and that certain somebody was like, oh, what if I swear and all that stuff? And then I was like these days, like if you're just swearing and being real, those like interviews, podcasts like that, they do so well. Like they do so well because they're being genuine. Like, because these days there's so much fakers out there just trying to do whatever they can to make it big or make money. Like that's why people like you know Theo Von. You don't know Theo Von?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do. Like I like him a lot, bro. Like obviously he's really funny because of the stuff that he says, but like he just seems so genuine when he says it. It could be all an act, but like people like that, or even Joe Rogan. Like I know people, like lots of people's probably said that, but like I like how it just, like these days all podcast interviews that really go big are the ones that are just like actual genuine conversations, instead of having everything like some are scripted and just seem so fake.
There's this actually this one. Okay, I'm gonna name drop. There's this video that I watched the other day on the TV. It was these people who were like corrupting an Amish person.
Nelk.
Yeah, bro, I hate them so much.
You don't like
that
Nelk?
Video makes me so... Nah.
Well, yeah.
And it's like, oh... They're just like douchebag. Like they're high school bullies, right? Who all got together and they make like a YouTube channel. And it actually makes me so angry when I watch their videos.
Yeah, but like I think those videos were like Amish. I don't know much about Amish people, but like from just seeing stuff that I've seen about them, like it kind of feels like they're all almost being forced to be trapped in Amish. And if they break from it, if they break Amish, they're like outcasted and are not welcome back. But I don't know.
That's the thing.
I don't know much about Amish people though.
Yeah. At the same time though, there's a difference between it being like trapped into a community and being a freak and being like a part of a community. Like they're just like another culture, you know what I mean? They don't really care about like technology and stuff because they've never really experienced it. So for them to experience, like, in that video, they bring somebody out to, like, I don't know where they bring, like, to Miami, right? And then he called, like, a taxi and drove all the way back home because he just couldn't handle it, because it was like, imagine taking somebody from the planet and then putting them to, like, an alien, and they don't know a single thing that's in there. Like, they don't know how any of the technology
But
works.
like,
They don't know how anything.
like with the
They don't know,
Amish,
like, what the people like.
I don't think, like, obviously this is coming from like the older people telling the next generation, and then the next generation telling the next one, and then it keeps going. Like, they're legit hiding all the stuff in the rest of the world away from these people. And it's not that, like, the real thing is that they don't know about it because they've never been taught any other stuff, and I think that's weird, bro. And like they're full on being forced to live this way, unless, and like obviously it's not like they're at gunpoint, but like if they do it, if they do leave, everyone they know and everything that they have known will go away, because they'll be outcasted and won't be welcomed back. And like, obviously, maybe that's not always the case, but yeah, they have, like, they're very strict about that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it's just weird. To me, it's just weird. Obviously, I'm not Amish, and most people aren't. Like, they're just getting all the stuff is getting hidden. Yeah, but like, they're just hiding that stuff away from people. Like, obviously, there are obviously benefits to the way they live. But yeah, but they don't really get a choice.
There's probably like a lot of want to venture out, but they feel like that they can't. But I feel like the overwhelming majority of them probably just want to live their life without having to worry about like all of this complex stuff that they've never experienced before. Like, they're thousands of years of culture. Like, there's definitely, like, there's 100% chance that there's some of them who are just sick of it and want to escape. But I feel like most of them wouldn't even know that's a possibility. They probably just never ventured out of that area being Amish, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's because they've just never been taught anything else. They don't know anything else about it. Like, obviously that doesn't mean it's bad, but like, just because, like, even if you tell them, most of them wouldn't do it. But like, I think they should at least know some stuff, because lots of stuff isn't told to them. Or they just hear it and they just don't believe it because they've never seen it, you know, stuff like that. And like, I'm not trying to compare them to North Korea, but like in North Korea, lots of, what's it called? So there's this well-known girl that escaped North Korea, and now she's like a big speaker in that. And she talks about how North Korean people don't know that they're Asian.
Yeah.
North Korean people are brainwashed to think that they are like a Kim Sung race. Like Kim Jong-un is like, and they are part of that race. Like, they are their own race. Like, they are not Asian. Asian is different. They are Kim Sung race or something. And their calendar they got a different calendar than the rest of the world. Their calendar starts like when Kim Il-sung or one of them was born, and that's when their timeline starts. And obviously, obviously, I think most of the world, like, if you got technology, you've probably heard of how the citizens are treated, and how everyone is controlled and brainwashed. And they don't know, most of them don't know anything about the outside world. And lots of them don't even know what the world looks like. They don't have actual maps of how the world looks like. They don't know. And that's just, like, that stuff's crazy. And obviously that's not the only...
It's messed up,
Obviously that's not the only place in the world where lots of bad crap is happening. There's bad crap happening all over the world. Because the world is... What's it called? The world is not good. Not good at all.
We are blessed to be in the positions. Yeah.
But hey. But even though it's not good, we should all be happy that we're even alive. That we even got the chance to do all these things, you know? Oh, bro, I heard something that was so good. So he was like, it was like a street interviewer, and he was like, okay, I've got a question for you. When you woke up this morning, were you happy? And then the dude he asked was like, no. And then the guy goes, if I gave you $1 million right now, how happy would you be? And then the dude was like, I would be so happy if I got $1 million right now. And he was like, how long would you be happy for? And then it'll be like, the other dude was like, I would be happy for like a week. I would be so happy. And then the other guy goes like, okay, forget about $1 million. $10 million. I'll give you $10 million right now. How happy would you be? The other guy was like, I would be so happy, bro. You couldn't wipe the smile off my face. And then the next question is, that the man asks, if I gave you $10 million right now, but you couldn't wake up the next morning, would you take it? The man goes, of course not. $10 million, but I die. What is the good in me getting $10 million if I'm no longer alive? And then the man goes, why aren't you happy then? Do you understand? Do you understand that? He said, why aren't you happy? Do you understand that?
Is worth than being able to wake up tomorrow. I mean, no, being able to wake up tomorrow is worth more than 10 million.
Yes. And because he was like, you would be so happy if you got 10 million bucks, but waking up is more important. So if 10 million bucks makes you that happy, but waking up every morning is more important, why aren't you happy every morning? This is happening every morning. Every morning you wake up. Every morning you wake up, it's worth more than $10 million. If you got $10 million right now, how happy would you be? You would be ecstatic. Waking up is more important, but when you wake up, are you happy? No, you're not. You're not happy when you got to wake up, go to school or work, but you should be, because it's more important than $10 million. But if you got $10 million, then you would be happy. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it's all about perspective. If you think with that perspective, you won't be feeling down. But if you think about all the things that are bad, then everything becomes more of a struggle.
Mm.
Do you have anything to interject with?
There is one thing I was thinking of. So we were talking about like rich kids before, right?
Yes.
And these rich kids have problems, things like first world problems that we would think are so silly. Like a rich kid would buy like a Lamborghini or something and it would arrive in color and they would be super angry about it. Bro, you still have a Lamborghini, right? But then as we were talking about Amish people or North Korean people, we will have problems that they will think is stupid as well. Like we'll go into a restaurant and we'll get the wrong. We'll be like, bro, this food is terrible. It's not what I ordered. It's completely different. But then North Korean people or like just anybody in like a bad situation who doesn't have food will be like, bro, it's still food. You still got food.
Yeah.
Over here. And it just keeps going down that entire list. I think we take so much things for granted.
Well,
that it's like actually scary.
that just shows how lucky we are.
Yeah.
Because
And like if you
yeah,
but here's another thing that I would say. If you're struggling, like if you're watching this video, whether it be now or it be like in the future or something, and you're just struggling too good, if you think that your problems are stupid and that you shouldn't be talking about them, then that's just simply not true. Because just because your problems look small to other people doesn't mean that should affect how big the problem is to you, right? Like, yeah, that's pretty much it.
hold on, say that again.
If you think that your problems aren't big because they're not big to other people, right? Even though, like, it's hard to explain. Hold on, let me think for a bit.
So you're
Okay.
saying
If your problems, so if your problems are eating you up so much, but you think that they're like small, silly things, like you wake up in the morning and you have no butter, right? That might sound like a silly thing to be angry, but if you're genuinely being angry, like that angry about something like that, then that's probably not what the issue is. It's probably something way bigger, like that you're not thinking about. Like maybe your workload at work is too much and you're doing too much and you're always stressed. If you find yourself getting angry over little things, and you've got to look at the bigger picture and see like what else is there that is wrong. And you probably won't even realize it. It's probably something that you just do as second nature that's just eating you up and you don't even realize that it is.
yeah, well, yeah, like if you're going through a bad day, obviously, like say on a regular day when you're not really angry, like maybe you might accidentally drop a pencil at school, like, or stuff like that. On a regular day, you might be like, okay, I just dropped my pencil. But if you're already having a bad day, every little thing that goes wrong just makes you even more angry.
Yeah, yeah.
And like legit, me on stream sometimes I get so like sometimes on the streams when it's not going well, like lots like I got pretty bad Wi-Fi. Obviously not as bad as Dnail's, but like bad enough for the stream to continuously stopping. I mean, not stopping, to continuously stop and restart. It's just annoying. And then say I'm trying to do something else, maybe I bump something, like it just every little problem just gets amplified because you're already mad.
Yeah.
But like as you were talking about going through problems, you can look at having problems in two ways. You either think about how bad it is, how unlucky you are, or you could just think about these problems could make you appreciate how lucky you are. Like Daniel was saying, maybe you order something like at a restaurant and they give you the wrong dish, and say that is what wrecked your day. That was the worst thing that happened all day. You getting like someone messing up your order at a restaurant. If that is the worst thing to happen to you all day, that just shows how lucky you are.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I couldn't get it out.
Because there is so many other people that wish that they had your problems. Maybe like simpler, like first world problems, like forgetting to charge your phone like before you go to bed, and you wake up and it's 10%. That could, like, for lots of people, that ruins your day. That is the worst thing that happened. But there's like that just shows how lucky we are. People like in countries like where I am, with the situations that I have. Like, and there was this quote that was like, don't complain about not having shoes until you meet a man that has no feet.
Damn.
Because, like, like, obviously, in the first world, not having shoes, that's pretty bad. But, like, throughout the entire world, that is nothing compared to, like, it's just like saying, bro, you're really complaining about shoes? Talk to the dude sitting over there that has no feet. Bro doesn't need to worry about shoes because he's got no feet to put it on. And you're complaining about not having shoes? And that really shows perspective about how I was saying you can look at it in two ways. You can look at it, wow, I don't have shoes, all these other people have shoes. Or you can look at it, wow, I've got feet, and bro over there doesn't even have feet to put shoes on. So yeah, that's just the ways you can look at it. And sometimes looking at things is the bad, like thinking about how just because, okay, thinking about how bad your situation is and how it could be better isn't always a bad thing. It can also be beneficial, because then that makes you want to make your situation better. Here's an example. You say in Australia you're making minimum wage, and say, not really minimum, so say you make 40k a year in Australia. That is like average. I'm pretty sure that's average. But like, you look at your thing, look at 40k a year, and then you say, oh yeah, you compare it to some like other countries, they get like $1 a month working over 60 hours a week, $1. I mean, $1 a week. They make $1 a week working $60 60 hours a week, and then you compare it to them, and you're like, oh, I don't need to do anything, bro. I'm chill. Like, look at them. I make heaps more money than them. Like, see, that can make you appreciate things, but it doesn't. But I don't think thinking like that makes you better, because that makes you think you're fine when you're not fine, and you could do way better. Say if you're in my situation living in Australia, then you compare it to another dude, like, not a millionaire, but like even just making 100k, you make 40, they make 60 more k than you, and looking at them, and then you're like, what am I doing wrong? He knows something that I don't. And looking at it in a negative way, then that makes you want to better yourself. And that is sometimes the good in looking things in a negative way, because then it shows you how bad it is and how much better it can be. So this is what you guys got to like think about and really weigh up how you're going to look at things for the best outcome possible. Should you look at it in a way like, bro, I can do heaps better, this is so garbage, blah blah blah, I'm gonna go better? Or is it something like you're just being a sook, like, and like something little, like someone messing up your order at a restaurant, and that's a bad thing, that's the worst thing to happen to you during your entire day, and little stuff like that wrecking your day, making you so angry. And then you think about the other things like, oh, but lots of people can't even afford food, and I'm really complaining about this. So that's the two things you can look into it. Looking at things like, this is so bad, and then you aspire to get better, or looking at things so you appreciate it more because you're being a sook, and then you compare it to other people in way worse situations, you know? Food for thought. And you gotta think in those two ways. In, like, obviously you can't just think one, like, it's a balance. You need a balance, because if you just overweigh one way of thinking compared to the other, then you're scuffed. And that's like almost with everything in life.